What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to become better? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, this very second. Because the truth is, nobody ever woke up feeling fully ready or perfect. Growth demands a choice, a leap, and a refusal to settle for anything less than your highest self. You're here because something inside you won't stay silent anymore. Maybe it's frustration with the same old patterns or the nagging feeling that you were meant for something more. That's good. That's exactly what needs to happen. Because real change begins the moment you admit you want better and you're willing to do what it takes. Becoming a better version of yourself isn't about overnight miracles or dramatic makeovers. It's about consistent, deliberate steps, small but powerful actions that shape your character, your mindset, and your future. It's about facing your own excuses and fears head-on and refusing to let them define you any longer. You may have heard the phrase, "be the best version of yourself" 1,000 times, but how many have really shown you the way? How many have challenged you to break free from comfort and confront your own limitations with brutal honesty? This is not a pep talk, it's a call to arms. A call to fight for your own life, your own dreams, your own dignity. Because the person you want to become is waiting for you to shed the weight of past mistakes, to silence the inner critic, and to build the habits, mindset, and courage that create unstoppable momentum. The road won't be easy, growth never is, but the reward, freedom, confidence, purpose. This is the moment that changes everything, the moment you decide to stop watching life pass you by and start living it on your own terms. Are you ready to make that decision? To step into your power and become the person you were always meant to be? If yes, then this journey begins now. Together, we'll unlock the mindset, the tools, and the drive to transform every part of your life. No fluff, no excuses, real, lasting change. Let's get started. Chapter 1: The Power of Choice. Every moment you live, you are faced with a choice between the familiar and the unknown, between comfort and challenge, between who you are and who you want to become. It's easy to believe that life happens to us, that circumstances, luck, or other people decide our fate, but the reality is harsher, yet more empowering. Your life is shaped by the choices you make, not the choices you wish you made, not the ones you imagine in your head, but the choices you take action on. If you want to change, if you want to grow into a better version of yourself, the very first thing you must do is claim your power to choose. No one else can do it for you. No magic pill, no secret shortcut. It's your decision alone. And that decision isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous commitment every day, every hour, every second. Think about that for a moment. What does it mean to truly own your choices? It means no longer blaming your past, no longer waiting for the right time, no longer shrinking in the shadow of fear or self-doubt. It means standing up and saying, "Enough. From now on, I decide what I become." But here's where most people get stuck. They want change, but they don't want responsibility. They want transformation, but they want someone else to hand it to them. They want better results, but they keep choosing old habits, old thoughts, old excuses, and because of that, they live a life that feels stuck, frustrating, and unfulfilled. Ask yourself, what choices have you made lately that are building your future? Are you feeding your mind with thoughts of growth or self-sabotage? Are your actions leading you closer to your goals or keeping you comfortable in a cage? The answers might sting, but they are the truth you need. Let me share a story. There was a man who spent years blaming his upbringing, his lack of opportunities, and his circumstances for where he was in life. He believed that because things had been hard, success was out of reach. One day, after a painful loss, he realized the truth that no one else could teach him. No matter the past, he had the power to choose his future. That moment wasn't a magical instant. It was the beginning of countless small decisions. Waking up earlier, reading more, facing discomfort instead of avoiding it, refusing to quit. Those choices didn't transform his life overnight, but over time they built a foundation so strong that no challenge could break him. The man you want to become is built one decision at a time, and the power to choose is your first tool. Now, this isn't just philosophy, it's practical. So how do you start exercising this power today? Start by recognizing every choice in your day, no matter how small, as a vote for the person you want to be. Choose your thoughts carefully. When negativity or doubt creeps in, catch it, challenge it, replace it. Choose your actions intentionally. Instead of scrolling mindlessly or settling for good enough, choose growth. Read a page, write a plan, make one phone call. Every choice like this builds momentum. Like a muscle, your decision-making grows stronger with use. You become someone who doesn't just wish for change, but demands it, earns it, lives it. But choice alone isn't enough if it's not paired with clarity. Clarity about what you want and why. Without clear direction, your choices scatter like seeds in the wind. To become a better version of yourself, you must know what you're aiming for. Imagine trying to hit a target in the dark. You might swing your arms wildly, but chances are you'll miss. Now imagine turning on the lights, focusing your eyes, and taking deliberate steps toward that target. That's the difference clarity makes in your journey. So ask yourself, what does a better version of you look like? What qualities, habits, and outcomes define that person? Don't rush this. It's not about vague wishes or superficial goals. It's about digging deep and being brutally honest. Maybe it's becoming more disciplined, healthier, kinder, more confident, or more skilled. Write it down. Paint that picture vividly in your mind. The clearer your vision, the easier it becomes to make choices that align with it. But here's another truth. Even with choice and clarity, the path won't be smooth. Resistance will rise. Fear will whisper lies. Old habits will pull you back. This is where many give up, retreating to what's easy and familiar. You will face moments of doubt where quitting looks tempting. You will struggle with setbacks that make you question your worth. And in those moments, remember this. Every person who's ever grown, succeeded, or transformed has stood exactly where you stand now, facing the storm, but refusing to be swept away. Growth isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning to dance with it, to use it as fuel, not chains. The power to choose includes choosing to rise after falling, choosing to try again, choosing to believe when the world seems to doubt you. Look back at your life, not to judge, but to understand the lessons. Each failure, each mistake was a choice point, sometimes good, sometimes not. The difference is you're here now, alive, with the chance to choose better. The path ahead is yours to walk. It's yours to shape with every choice. The better version of you is not a distant dream, it's a reality waiting for your commitment. The power lies not in wishing, hoping, or blaming, but in deciding. Deciding to act, deciding to grow, deciding to never settle again. This is your moment of power. Take it, own it, live it. Chapter 2. The Mindset Shift. Your mind is the battlefield where every victory and defeat is first decided. The way you think, the stories you tell yourself, the beliefs you carry, these are the invisible forces shaping your reality. To become a better version of yourself, you must start here, with your mindset. But mindset isn't just a buzzword or a positive thinking cliche. It's the foundation of everything you are and everything you can become. The right mindset unlocks potential you never knew existed. The wrong one keeps you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, fear, and stagnation. What's holding you back isn't your circumstances. It's the invisible prison of limiting beliefs. Those quiet voices whispering, "You're not good enough," "You'll never change," or "This is just how life is." They aren't truths. They're stories you've been telling yourself so long you believe them. Imagine carrying an invisible backpack everywhere you go, filled with stones labeled "I'm not smart enough," "I'm too old," "I'm unlucky." Each time you let these thoughts take control, you add another stone, weighing you down until movement feels impossible. But here's the power you must claim. Your mind is not a cage, it's a tool, a muscle that can be trained, strengthened, and redirected. The difference between someone stuck in their old patterns and someone soaring into new heights is a simple but profound mindset shift. This shift begins with awareness. You must learn to recognize the lies your mind tells you. The next time you think, "I can't," stop and ask, who says I can't? Is this fact or just fear talking? What if the opposite were true? When you catch yourself falling into old thought traps, don't fight or push too hard. Instead, gently question and reframe. Turn "I'm not capable" into "I'm learning and growing." Change "I failed, so I'm a failure" into "Failure is feedback, not a verdict." The power of reframing thoughts is not abstract. It rewires your brain. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, means that every time you practice new thinking, you strengthen new pathways. You literally become different, stronger, more resilient. Now, changing your mindset isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about facing reality with courage and choosing to respond differently. It's about seeing challenges not as walls, but as stepping stones. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all together. Behind their success is a mindset forged in adversity, failure, and relentless belief in their own capacity to grow. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she was a single mother living on welfare, rejected by multiple publishers. Her mindset? Not, "I'll never make it," but "I will keep trying, no matter what." That mindset changed her life and millions of others. You don't need to become someone else to change your mindset. You need to become more of the person you already are, capable, resilient, creative. You need to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. One powerful practice is to write down your negative beliefs. Put them on paper, then rewrite them as positive affirmations. Instead of "I'm not good enough," write "I am enough and I'm growing every day." Repeat these affirmations daily, not as empty words but as commitments. Another technique is visualization. See yourself succeeding, feel the emotions of accomplishment, imagine the path you will walk. This mental rehearsal trains your brain to expect success, creating a powerful magnetic force toward your goals. Mindset also thrives on curiosity. Instead of fearing failure, approach it as a lesson. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can I do better next time? This curious mindset transforms obstacles into opportunities. But beware of comfort. Your mind naturally resists change because comfort feels safe. Growth demands discomfort, thinking new thoughts, facing fears, risking failure. If you want a new mindset, you must be willing to sit with that discomfort. Sometimes the hardest part is quieting the noise, the doubts, the distractions, the external opinions. Developing a strong mindset means protecting your mental space, choosing carefully what you listen to and whose voices you trust. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you to grow, who believe in your potential even when you don't. Their energy fuels your mindset shift. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Mindset change is a process. You won't flip a switch overnight. There will be days when old thoughts return. That's normal. What matters is what you do next. Do you give in, or do you choose differently? Your mind is your greatest asset and your greatest obstacle. It's the soil where the seeds of your future self will grow. Nourish it with positive beliefs, water it with persistent action, and shield it from negative. When you commit to this mindset shift, you unlock a powerful truth. Your limitations are not fixed. They are challenges to be overcome, not chains to be worn forever. This shift sets the stage for everything else. Without it, no matter how many tools or strategies you have, change will be shallow and short-lived. But with it, transformation becomes inevitable. Chapter 3: Habits. The truth about success and transformation is simple. It doesn't come from grand gestures or lucky breaks. It comes from the small, consistent choices you make every day. Those daily habits, often invisible to the outside world, are the architects quietly shaping your future. You might underestimate the power of habit because it seems mundane. Brushing your teeth, making your bed, choosing to read for 10 minutes, these don't feel like life-altering moments. But that's exactly where the magic hides, in the routine, in the repetition. Think about it. Your life today is the sum of the habits you've built over years. What you do daily determines your health, your mindset, your relationships, your financial situation. If you want to become a better version of yourself, you must become a master of your habits. But habits aren't easy. They don't form overnight. They demand patience, persistence, and often discomfort. The moment you decide to change is the moment you start fighting your own brain's natural resistance. Your brain loves efficiency and familiarity. It prefers the well-worn path, even if it's leading nowhere. That's why habits can be your greatest allies or your worst enemies. If you let bad habits control your life, you'll feel trapped, stuck repeating the same mistakes. But if you cultivate good habits, they will carry you forward with momentum you didn't even realize you had. Here's the secret most people miss. The key to lasting change isn't willpower alone. It's designing your environment and routine so that good habits become the natural choice. You don't have to rely on motivation every day because motivation is fickle and fades. Instead, set up systems that make positive habits automatic. Start small. Pick one habit that aligns with who you want to be. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. Maybe it's writing a journal entry before bed. Maybe it's taking a 5-minute walk or reading one page. Whatever it is, make it manageable. Why start small? Because tiny wins build confidence and reduce the risk of burnout. Each small success sends a message to your brain. I can do this. Over time, these tiny habits snowball into profound change. Let me share a story about a woman named Sarah. She wanted to improve her health, but felt overwhelmed by drastic diets or intense workouts. Instead of trying to overhaul everything, she started with one small habit: walking around her block every morning. At first, it was tough. Some days she didn't feel like it, but she kept going. Weeks later, that short walk became a daily ritual. She began feeling more energetic, her mood lifted, and she naturally started choosing healthy meals. Her small habit unlocked a cascade of positive change, not because she forced it, but because she built it piece by piece. Now, habits don't only shape your body, they shape your mind. The books you read, the thoughts you practice, the people you listen to, these are mental habits that influence your mindset every day. If you want to grow, you must cultivate habits that nourish your intellect and spirit. Replace mindless scrolling with focused learning. Swap complaining with gratitude journaling. Turn distractions into moments of mindfulness. These small mental habits build resilience, creativity, and confidence. One powerful strategy is habit stacking, linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you always brush your teeth before bed, add a habit of writing one thing you're grateful for immediately afterward. Your existing routine acts as a trigger, making the new habit easier to adopt. But here's the hard truth. Not every habit is easy or pleasant at first. Growth habits often feel uncomfortable because they push you beyond your comfort. The urge to quit or skip will come, but that's exactly when your character is forged. Consistency beats intensity. Showing up daily, even imperfectly, is more powerful than bursts of extreme effort followed by burnout. Your future self will thank you for every day you didn't quit, every time you chose discipline over ease. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Build habits that don't depend on how you feel. Use reminders, alarms, or accountability partners to stay on track. Celebrate your progress, but don't let small setbacks derail you. Every day is a new chance. Remember, habits build identity. The question shifts from what do I want to achieve to who do I want to become. When you internalize new habits, you begin to see yourself differently. Instead of I'm trying to be healthy, you become I'm a healthy person. Instead of I'm working on my skills, you become I'm a learner. This identity shift creates unstoppable momentum, because your actions then come from who you are, not just what you want. Your habits become a reflection of your deepest values and your vision for your life. Chapter 4. Discipline. Discipline is the silent force behind every achievement, the bridge that carries dreams from imagination into reality. It's not glamorous or exciting on its own, but it's the unwavering commitment to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Without discipline, talent and ambition wither. With it, ordinary people become unstoppable. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's about punishment or deprivation, about forcing themselves to grind endlessly. But true discipline is freedom. The freedom to control your impulses, to act with intention rather than reaction, to stay focused on your higher purpose when distractions scream for your attention. Imagine waking up every day with a clear direction, knowing exactly what actions will move you forward. Discipline is what ensures you take those actions regardless of mood, energy, or circumstance. It's the muscle that gets stronger the more you use it, the habit that anchors you through storms and setbacks. Discipline starts with commitment. You must decide what matters most, your goals, your values, your vision, and vow to honor them every day. This is not a casual promise but a fierce declaration. I will show up even when it's hard. I will keep going even when I want to quit. But commitment alone isn't enough. Discipline demands structure. You must create routines and boundaries that protect your time and energy. The world will constantly pull you off course. Social media, distractions, excuses. But discipline is your armor against those forces. One of the most effective ways to build discipline is to embrace routine. Rituals might seem mundane, but they create a predictable framework that removes decision fatigue. When your day flows with purpose, you waste less energy debating what to do next and invest it in focused action. Consider the athletes who train every day without fail, not because they're motivated every single morning, but because their routine is non-negotiable. Discipline means doing the work when you want to and when you don't. It means showing up for yourself before you even feel ready. But discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Missing one day doesn't mean failure. Giving up does. Every time you choose discipline over temptation, you reinforce your identity as someone who can be trusted. Someone who honors their word to themselves. Here's a story. There was a man who dreamed of writing a book. Every day he promised himself he would write, but he waited for inspiration to strike. Years passed with little progress. Then one day he made a choice. Regardless of mood or mood swings, he would write 200 words daily. Some days were hard, some words were clumsy, but the discipline carried him forward. Months later, the book was finished. Discipline transformed his dream into a reality. Discipline also requires sacrifice. Saying yes to what matters means saying no to distractions and instant gratification. It's the strength to delay pleasure in favor of long-term gain. That delay builds resilience and deep satisfaction because it's earned, not given. And discipline is not just about work or goals. It's about every aspect of your life: health, relationships, learning, and rest. Balancing these areas requires self-control and intentional choices, even when life pulls you in different directions. One practical technique to cultivate discipline is time blocking, assigning specific chunks of time to focused work or important tasks. Protect those blocks fiercely. During these times, eliminate distractions, silence notifications, and give yourself permission to dive deep. Another powerful tool is accountability. Share your goals with someone who will challenge you, remind you, and celebrate your progress. Knowing someone else is watching can ignite your discipline on days when your own will falters. But the ultimate source of discipline comes from within, your values and purpose. When your why is strong enough, it becomes the fuel for discipline. You don't need motivation because you're driven by something deeper than fleeting feelings. Take a moment to connect with your purpose. What's the reason behind your goals? What legacy do you want to leave? When you anchor discipline to this meaning, it becomes sustainable, even joyful. Discipline transforms the impossible into the inevitable. It turns potential into performance, ideas into impact. It's the unglamorous hero of every success story, the force that pushes you across the finish line when talent and luck run out. Chapter 5. Embracing failure. Failure is one of the most misunderstood experiences in the journey of self-improvement. Society often paints it as a final defeat, a mark of inadequacy, or a signal to stop trying. But what if failure is not the enemy but the doorway? What if every failure you've faced, or will face, is actually an essential step toward becoming your best self? Think about this. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, is built on a foundation of countless failures. They didn't avoid falling down, they learned how to get back up. They didn't let setbacks define them, they let setbacks refine them. Failure is the feedback your growth desperately needs. It's the honest mirror reflecting what's not working, the rough terrain that teaches resilience, and the fire that forges strength. The moment you embrace failure, you unlock a profound truth. Failure is not a stop sign, but a signal to adjust your course and keep moving. This mindset shift transforms fear. Instead of dreading failure, you learn to welcome it as part of the process. You start experimenting, taking risks, and stepping beyond the safety of your comfort zone. This is where real growth happens, in the unknown, the uncertain, the uncomfortable. One story stands out. A young inventor who tried and failed hundreds of times to create a light bulb that would work. When asked about his failures, he didn't see them as losses but as discoveries. "I have not failed," he said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His relentless curiosity and refusal to quit brought light to the world. Imagine if you adopted that perspective. How would your life change if you viewed failure as a necessary experiment instead of a verdict on your worth? You would take more chances, push harder, and discover strengths you never knew you had. But embracing failure requires courage. It means facing discomfort and uncertainty head-on. It means risking rejection, criticism, and temporary disappointment. This is why many avoid it, choosing safety over possibility. However, without failure, there is no learning. Without stumbling, you can't build balance. Without challenges, you remain stagnant. Growth demands that you stretch beyond what feels safe and familiar. How do you cultivate this courage? Start by reframing your relationship with failure. Instead of running from mistakes, ask, what can this teach me? How can I use this to improve? Journaling your lessons after setbacks can turn pain into clarity. Another powerful tool is vulnerability, the willingness to be imperfect and open about your struggles. Vulnerability connects you to your authentic self and others, dissolving the shame around failure and inviting support and empathy. Chapter 6. The Power of Focus. Your attention is one of the most precious resources you possess. It determines what you notice, what you learn, and ultimately, what you become. In a world overflowing with distractions, mastering your focus is no longer optional, it's essential. Without focus, even the best plans and intentions fall apart. Think of your mind like a spotlight. Wherever you shine that light, energy follows. If your attention is scattered, your energy dissipates. If your focus is sharp and deliberate, your energy amplifies, creating momentum and clarity. Focus isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. It's about cutting through noise, eliminating distractions, and channeling your efforts toward what truly matters. The ability to concentrate on the right things propels you forward faster than talent, luck, or motivation ever could. But here's the challenge. We live in an age designed to steal your attention. Notifications ping, social media scrolls endlessly, emails flood in, and countless voices compete for your time. Your focus is under siege every waking moment. So how do you reclaim your attention and direct it with purpose? First, you must understand that focus is a skill, a muscle that can be strengthened with practice. Like any skill, it requires training, patience, and consistent effort. Begin by setting clear priorities. Without knowing what deserves your attention, you'll scatter your energy and accomplish little. Identify the most important tasks that align with your goals. These are your non-negotiables, the actions that move you closer to becoming your better self. Next, create boundaries that protect your focus. This means setting aside dedicated time blocks, free from interruptions. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create an environment that supports deep work. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for focus. When you train your mind to be present, you reduce wandering thoughts and mental clutter. Simple practices like mindful breathing or short meditation sessions can increase your ability to concentrate. Consider the story of a famous entrepreneur who transformed his productivity by practicing focus rituals. He would start his day by eliminating distractions, setting one clear priority, and working in intense, uninterrupted bursts. This habit of deep focus enabled him to build an empire from scratch. You don't need to mimic his exact routine, but you can learn from his principle. Focus creates results. The key is quality, not quantity of effort. Another technique to master focus is to break tasks into manageable chunks. Large projects can feel overwhelming, triggering procrastination. By dividing work into smaller steps and focusing on one at a time, you reduce resistance and build momentum. Beware of multitasking. It's a myth that you can do many things well at once. Studies show that switching between tasks reduces productivity and increases mistakes. Focus on one thing, give it your full attention, then move to the next. Self-discipline and focus go hand in hand when distractions arise. Discipline is the muscle that pulls you back. It's the inner voice saying, "This is important, stay with it." The more you exercise discipline, the stronger your focus becomes. Your environment shapes your focus more than you realize. Surround yourself with people and spaces that support concentration and growth. Declutter your workspace. Limit time spent with negativity or drama. Fill your surroundings with reminders of your goals. The rewards of mastering focus are profound. You'll find that work feels less overwhelming, progress accelerates, and your sense of control grows. Focus sharpens creativity and problem solving because your mind isn't scattered but fully engaged. But focus is also about what you choose not to pay attention to. Learning to say no to distractions, to irrelevant tasks, to toxic influences is critical. Protecting your attention is as important as directing it. Chapter 7. the strength of resilience. Resilience is not just a trait some people are born with. It's a skill you can cultivate. It's the invisible armor that protects you when life hits hard. The power to recover, adapt, and grow despite challenges and setbacks. Without resilience, the journey toward becoming a better version of yourself can feel like an endless uphill battle. With it, obstacles become opportunities and pain becomes power. Resilience begins with perspective. It's the ability to see difficulties not as insurmountable walls, but as temporary hurdles that test your strength and teach valuable lessons. This perspective transforms suffering from a dead end into a stepping stone. Consider a seed buried under dirt, pressed down by weight and darkness. To most eyes, it's stuck, lifeless, hopeless. But inside, the seed is gathering strength, preparing to push through the soil and bloom into something vibrant. Your challenges are like that dirt pressure that can either suffocate or stimulate your growth. Building resilience requires emotional agility, the capacity to feel pain without being overwhelmed by it. It means acknowledging your feelings honestly without letting them control you. This balance of acceptance and control empowers you to move forward even when the path is unclear. One of the most powerful ways to develop resilience is to build strong support systems. No one thrives alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, and believe in your potential. Their encouragement will fuel your resolve when your own fire flickers. Resilience also grows from self-compassion. Too often when we fail or stumble, we become our harshest critics. This self-judgment drains energy and weakens resolve. Instead, learn to treat yourself with the kindness you'd offer a dear friend facing hardship. Forgive your mistakes and view them as part of the human experience. Real resilience shines in how you respond to failure and rejection. Do you shrink back into fear and doubt, or do you rise with renewed determination? Each time you choose the latter, you strengthen the muscle of resilience. Let me share a story of an athlete who suffered a devastating injury. Doctors said she might never compete again. Instead of giving up, she committed to recovery with relentless discipline and a positive mindset. Years later, she returned stronger than ever, winning championships that once seemed impossible. Her resilience turned tragedy into triumph. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Resilience is that choice, the decision to keep moving, learning, and growing regardless of circumstances. Practicing gratitude also builds resilience. When you focus on what's going well, even in tough times, you create mental space for hope and possibility. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Resilience doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It means facing reality fully and choosing to rise above it. It means persistence in the face of uncertainty. Every setback carries a lesson, every hardship an opportunity to discover your inner strength. The more you embrace resilience, the more fearless you become. Chapter 8: The Art of Patience. In a culture obsessed with instant results, patience often feels like a forgotten virtue, slow, passive, and somehow weak. But patience is anything but weakness. It is an active, powerful force that fuels lasting growth and meaningful success. Patience is not just waiting, it's waiting with purpose, persistence, and a calm mind focused on the bigger picture. Becoming a better version of yourself requires patience because transformation is a process, not an event. It doesn't happen overnight. You cannot rush growth, force progress, or skip essential steps without paying a price later. Think about a tree growing from a seed. No matter how much you want it to grow tall and strong, it will take seasons, time to root deeply, weather storms, and gather strength from the soil and sun. Your growth is similar. It requires time, nurturing, and steady care. Patience helps you endure setbacks without despair, delays without frustration, and slow progress without giving up. It teaches you to trust the process even when the outcome is not yet visible. One way to cultivate patience is by shifting your mindset from outcome fixation to process appreciation. Instead of obsessing over how far you've come or how quickly you're moving, focus on the actions you're taking every day. Celebrate small wins and progress that might seem invisible but is powerful beneath the surface. Consider the story of a musician who practiced the same scales over and over for years, long before they could perform on stage. Their patience with repetition and gradual improvement allowed them to master their craft. The applause came later, but the growth was in the practice. Patience also involves managing expectations. Sometimes we expect immediate transformation because of excitement or societal pressure. When results don't match expectations, discouragement creeps in. Learning to set realistic goals and timelines keeps you grounded and motivated. Mindfulness practices can support patience by training your mind to stay present. When you get caught in impatience, your mind jumps ahead to future outcomes, causing anxiety and dissatisfaction. Mindfulness anchors you in the now, helping you accept each moment fully. Another powerful element of patience is resilience against distractions and temptations. When immediate gratification beckons, patience strengthens your resolve to stay the course. It's the quiet voice saying, "I will wait, because what I'm building is worth it." Patience is also deeply connected to self-compassion. When growth stalls or mistakes happen, patience allows you to forgive yourself and keep going without harsh judgment. In relationships, careers, health, and personal development, patience is the bridge that connects effort with lasting results. It turns frustration into calm determination. Chapter 9. The courage to take risks. Growth demands risk. It demands that you step beyond the familiar, beyond safety, beyond what feels comfortable. The journey to becoming a better version of yourself is a series of calculated leaps into the unknown. Without risk, there is no breakthrough. Without boldness, no transformation. Yet risk is terrifying. Our brains are wired to seek safety, to avoid pain, to stick with what we know. The fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty holds many captive in a life far smaller than their potential. But here's the truth. Risk is not reckless. It's not blind jumping. It's informed courage, making decisions with awareness of the potential downsides, but choosing action anyway because the cost of inaction is greater. Think about explorers who set sail into uncharted waters, inventors who challenge conventional wisdom, entrepreneurs who launch new ventures. They all faced enormous uncertainty, but moved forward because they believed in the possibility of something greater. Risk forces you to confront fear and doubt, but it also awakens resilience, creativity, and confidence. Every risk you take, whether it results in success or failure, builds your capacity to handle life's challenges. One of the most important steps in embracing risk is shifting your mindset around failure. Instead of seeing risk as a gamble with your worth, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. The most successful people are often the ones who fail the most but refuse to be defined by their failures. Start by taking small risks daily. Speak up in meetings, try a new hobby, approach someone new, share your ideas. These micro risks build your courage muscle, preparing you for bigger leaps. Another key to risk-taking is preparation. Research, plan, and gather resources so that when you leap, you do so with confidence. Preparation doesn't eliminate risk, but it lowers unnecessary hazards and boosts your chances. Surround yourself with people who encourage boldness and support your risks. Toxic voices that preach caution or pessimism can paralyze your spirit. Find mentors and allies who see your potential and cheer you on. Chapter 10. The Power of Consistency. Consistency is the hidden force behind every great achievement. It is the daily commitment to your goals, the steady rhythm of effort repeated over time that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary results. While talent, passion, and inspiration spark beginnings, It's consistency that carries you across the finish line. Many people start strong, fueled by excitement and motivation, only to fade when the initial energy wanes. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often the willingness to keep going, day after day, regardless of mood, obstacles, or setbacks. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it, doing the work even when it's difficult, and trusting the process even when progress feels slow. It is the practice of honoring your commitments to yourself no matter what. Imagine the sculptor shaping a masterpiece. Each chisel strike might seem small and insignificant, but over time, those repeated actions carve something breathtaking. Your daily habits and efforts are those chisels, shaping the person you become. One way to cultivate consistency is by creating rituals and routines that support your goals. When actions become habits, they require less willpower and become automatic. This reduces the chance of skipping or quitting. Accountability is another key. Share your goals with someone who will check in on your progress, or consider joining a group with similar aspirations. Knowing others are aware of your commitment strengthens your resolve. Sometimes life throws curveballs, illness, stress, unexpected events that disrupt your routine. Consistency isn't about rigidly sticking to a plan no matter what, but about adapting and continuing as best as you can. It's about resilience and flexibility within your commitment. Chapter 11. The importance of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of true growth. Without understanding who you are, your values, your strengths, your weaknesses, you wander through life, reacting to circumstances rather than intentionally shaping your destiny. To become a better version of yourself, you must first look inward with honesty and curiosity. Many avoid self-reflection because it can be uncomfortable. Facing your flaws, acknowledging past mistakes, and confronting uncomfortable truths takes courage. But it's only through this deep knowing that transformation becomes possible. Self-awareness means recognizing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. It means understanding why you react the way you do, what drives your decisions, and how your habits serve or sabotage you. When you develop self-awareness, you gain control over your life. You stop being a victim of automatic patterns and start making conscious choices aligned with your authentic self. One practical way to build self-awareness is journaling. Writing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences helps clarify your inner landscape and reveals patterns that might be hidden beneath the surface. Another method is seeking feedback from trusted friends, mentors, or coaches. Sometimes others see aspects of us that we cannot perceive. Openness to constructive criticism accelerates growth. Mindfulness meditation also cultivates self-awareness by training your mind to observe without attachment or judgment. This practice creates space between stimulus and response, empowering you to choose your reactions. Self-awareness connects you to your core values, the guiding principles that define who you are and what matters most. When your actions align with your values, you experience fulfillment and integrity. Consider a person who values honesty but finds themselves avoiding difficult conversations out of fear. Through self-awareness, they recognize this conflict and can begin to change their behavior to live more authentically. Without self-awareness, you risk living a fragmented life, disconnected from your true desires and swayed by external influences. With it, you become the architect of your own path. Chapter 12. Living your transformation. Transformation is not a destination, but a way of life. It's the daily choice to show up, to grow, to align your actions with your highest vision. Becoming a better version of yourself is not a momentary achievement, but a lifelong commitment to authenticity, courage, and purpose. You've journeyed through choice, mindset, habits, discipline, failure, focus, resilience, patience, risk, consistency, and self-awareness. Now, it's time to weave these threads into a living tapestry. a life that reflects the very best of who you are becoming. Living your transformation means embodying your values in every decision, interaction, and thought. It means stepping beyond old identities and embracing the freedom to evolve continuously. This process requires humility, the willingness to learn, to adapt, to admit when you don't have all the answers. It demands faith in yourself and the process, even when progress seems slow or invisible. True transformation shines brightest in everyday moments. How you treat others, how you manage your inner dialogue, how you respond to challenges. These small acts, repeated over time, become the legacy you leave. One of the most powerful ways to live your transformation is through intentional reflection. Regularly pause to assess your growth, celebrate wins, and recalibrate your goals. This keeps you connected to your purpose and motivated to keep moving forward. Surround yourself with environments and relationships that nurture your growth. Your circle influences your mindset and habits more than you realize. Seek those who inspire, challenge, and support your journey. Remember, transformation is not about perfection but progress. Celebrate your humanity, the flaws, the struggles, the triumphs. Each is a step on your path. As you continue this journey, be a beacon for others. Share your lessons, your courage, your authenticity. Your growth becomes a source of inspiration and strength for those around you. The better version of yourself is not a distant ideal, but a reality you create moment by moment. It is who you are becoming through every choice, every habit, every act of courage. So, stand tall in your transformation. Live it boldly and fully. Your best self is waiting not somewhere in the future, but here and now. This is your life, your journey, your transformation. Own it.